welcome back to Grow Together. Can you believe it's already July? I can hardly understand it. I'm like, the year is halfway through, and I feel like I'm still referring to 2023 being the year, but here we are halfway through 2024. Well, today's conversation, our July episode, is going to be coming from Trinity Bible College in North Dakota. It's going to be led by the amazing Savanna Emmanuel and the two students that we get to hear from, which I'm enjoying every single episode, hearing young women who are called into ministry share their thoughts, their wisdom, and their experience and what God is doing in their lives. And today we get to hear from Brooklynn, Hendrickson, and Alcista, Dion. So enjoy this conversation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Savanna Emmanuel, and I am the new college rep for the Network of Women Minister campus group here at Trinity Bible College and Graduate School. It is so great to be here. Today, we have two amazing student leaders with us, Brooklynn Hendrickson and Alcista Dion. As you guys know, the topic this month is the theme Restore. And so we're going to be diving into that momentarily. But I just want us to give a quick introduction to these two amazing students. Brooklynn, we'll go ahead and start with you. Can you tell us, where you're from, what's your major, and just a quick history on how God called you into ministry?
So my name is Brooklyn, and I am currently a senior or I will be a senior at Trinity. I'm an education major, elementary education, and then church ministries minor. And I'm from the Springfield, Missouri area, and I love Trinity. I love getting to go to school there and just do all the campus activities that we have there. But yeah, a little quick story on how I felt like the Lord has called me to ministry, and just like the development of that calling as well. I just remember being called to ministry one year at camp as I was praying and seeking the Lord. The verse Proverbs 3:5-6 talks about leaning not on our own understanding and in all our ways trusting in Him. And I remember feeling just like this burden on my heart to do ministry. And when the Lord revealed that verse to me, I just knew that that was something that He wanted to include in my life. And so as I've walked through that, I definitely do believe that the Lord's going to use me to serve in a church in ministry in some capacity. Not really sure what that looks like quite yet, but I am just trusting the Lord and leaning on His understanding. And I know that, yeah, wherever He leads me, it'll be awesome. So
Wonderful. Thank you. Alcista, how about you?
Hi, my name is Alcista Dion. I'll be a junior at Trinity this upcoming year, and I'm an intercultural studies major. That's basically big terminology for missions, but I don't know what the next steps look like yet, but I know that God has led me to recently unreached people groups and people of Native American descent. Before coming to Trinity, I saw my parents serve in this way, and I saw them love on people who were broken and lost and needing of something more. And I felt like that was where He was calling me to. And so that's how I got to Trinity. And these next steps will be just getting prepared for whatever that looks like. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. By the way, everybody, these two ladies are what we call RAs. They are resident assistants at Trinity. So they help lead the women's dormitory and they do an amazing job. We're so grateful for them at Trinity. So let's just jump right into our theme of Restore. Brooklynn, let's bring it back to you. So when you think of the theme Restore, what comes to mind?
as I was thinking about this the other day and just praying about it, I just couldn't help think about like the fact that we serve a God who's in the business of restoration. Like it's just so cool that like we can come to Him broken and in pieces and we can leave whole. As I was reading, I'm reading through Luke right now, and it's talking about the woman with the issue of blood and how she came to Jesus and she was broken and she needed healing, and one touch from Him was enough to restore her and bring her back to wholeness. And so as I was like thinking about this theme, that's kind of just some of the first thoughts that pop into my brain. And also, like, I love the word restore and how it starts with rest. I think that that's also just something that's really cool. That oftentimes, in order to be restored, it requires rest, which is just, God's so cool to do that.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. Alcista, how about you? What comes to mind when you think of the theme restore?
I don't know. I think I probably have a little bit of a different approach to it. But as I was thinking about it last night and this morning, I'm reading through Revelation right now. So it's really cool to see how God brings everything back together in the end, and how all of the work that we do here on earth won't be for nothing, and how we will be restored to new bodies, and that we will get I don't know. It just seems so glorious that we get to see God in like all his glory, you know? And it just feels very rewarding to be a Christian and um know that he has everything worked out. He will restore us to new bodies, and he will restore our minds. That's a big thing.
Absolutely. I love how you guys hit on two different incredible points on the topic of restore. Brooklyn, what would you say? You mentioned rest, and I loved what you said, how restoration or the word restore starts with rest. Has God taught you anything about rest recently?
Yes. I just it's funny because it's so true. Um, yeah, this past semester at Trinity, while I love like being an RA and I love being on campus, it was a really hard semester. I really just allowed myself to get caught up in work, and I kind of lost myself in that. And I think that as I've been home for the summer, I've just been intentional to rest and just to be with the Lord. And I've seen a lot of restoration in my own life. Like I've seen the Lord just restore my identity, and I've seen him restore my joy. And it's just been so cool because the Lord has taught me so much about rest and what that looks like. And rest looks different for everyone. But I think that it's no coincidence that that God, you know, when he created the world, he took a day to rejoice and delight in what he created and to rest. And I think he did that in order to show us and to lead by example, that we also need rest. And yeah, so the Lord's just been teaching me so much about that, and it's been really cool to just see him refresh and restore my soul, kind of like what it talks about in Psalms 23. And so yeah, it's just been really sweet to get to spend time with the Lord and to rest in his presence and to learn what that looks like for me. So yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, like you said, it can be so easy to get lost in work and just doing that.
Yeah.
I know this is such a cliche saying, but we forget to just be in
Yes.
God's presence, rest in him. Man, I know I can feel it when it's been weeks where I haven't done that. And it's like, okay, I'm starting to unravel here a little bit
Yeah.
emotionally, you
Yes.
know? And also, I love what you say too. It's like, not only can we get lost in work, but it's like we can get lost in just, man, the problems that we see around us, maybe even our own struggles, or seeing all of the brokenness around us with people and situations. And for those like yourselves called to ministry, I mean, you're in the people business, we're in the people
Yeah.
business dealing with people and their issues and their problems. And it's a lot sometimes. And there's so much to learn. I know you guys, you haven't jumped into that full-time vocational ministry setting yet, but you guys are learning things already that will help you in the future when you come to that place. I don't know if have you guys heard of kintsugi? When I start talking about it, you might actually know what I'm talking about, but it's really interesting. It's this Japanese art of putting broken pottery pieces back together with precious metals like gold, silver, platinum. So that's how they repair the cups and they restore the cups. And so, in the hands of a kintsugi artist, a broken bowl is transformed into a unique piece of art in which cracks are not disguised or discarded, but rather strengthened and beautified to honor the bowl's history. It is actually stronger in the broken places. I love that. I think there are so many sermons that can come out of this unique Japanese art form. But I love what Psalm 70 verses 19 through 21 say. Your righteousness, God, reaches to the heavens. You who have done great things, who is like you, God? Though you have made me see troubles, many and bitter, you will restore my life again. From the depths of the earth, you will again bring me up. You will increase my honor. and comfort me once more. So yeah, going back to what Alcista said, in the end, like, God is holding the world in his hands, and we might not see the results that we want to see in this life, but knowing that God will, he's going to bring all things to wholeness and restoration. It is such an awesome hope that we have as Christians. Anything else you ladies would like to add to this topic of restore?
Yeah, I will. I just think that it's really interesting. Something else that the Lord has kind of been teaching me about, and kind of just some thoughts that I've had while you were talking, is that like part of restoration is recognizing our weakness, and like in that when we recognize our weakness, we recognize God's power and like how just incredible He is, and something that the Lord has just been teaching me this summer as I've been home and like reflecting on the past semester is there's so much that I tried to do in my own strength, and I simply like just don't have the strength to do. Like I think so often when we're doing ministry and we're in the business of people, it can be really easy to not only get caught up in the work but to get caught up in trying to do things in our own strength, which I think go hand in hand. But when we recognize that it's actually we can't do anything without the Lord, that like our efforts are empty if we don't include his power, if we don't allow him to lead. And so yeah, I just think that that's really interesting too. I like that you said like the broken pieces are the strongest parts. I think that that's so true too. Like our brokenness can lead to the Lord using, or our brokenness can be a vessel for the Lord's strength to be used. And so yeah, I just think that's really interesting. I like that you brought that up. That was good.
Alcista, how about you?
I just think about like the testimony of so many people around me and how like that is so evident. Like my dad, for example, like all of his wrongdoings in the past make for a great testimony for him to speak into other people's lives. And I think that's just like a beautiful like full circle moment like of God's restoration and seeing him be able to like speak into other people's lives and God using other people's restoration for even more restoration, and it like the cycle can just continue. Like I don't it just reminds me of the power of our testimonies and how like our broken pieces can be used for his good.
Oh, I love that. Yes, God is so awesome that he can even take our junk and our mess and make it into a message. How many times have we heard that?
Amen.
It's
Yes.
so cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a great note for us to end on. I just want to thank you so much, Alcista and Brooklynn, for joining this podcast today. I really admire your leadership on campus. I know so many students look up to you guys, and I'm excited to see how God uses you this coming year. And then also when you step into full-time vocational ministry, I also want to thank the Network of Women Ministers for giving us this opportunity to share and to highlight our campus and some of our incredible students. So thank you guys so much, and until next time.